I lost $12,000, as you guys can see from that screenshot, trying to get rich quick, man. And it wasn't just trying to get rich quick, it was just really being uninformed and being emotional and making an investment with those emotions, man. And that is not the way to approach it. And I'm going to go over how to prevent that and what I've learned pretty much from my experience, not only losing that 12,000, man, but I've lost a whole lot more money than that. So in total, I think I've lost close to $20,000, and on all of it has been in crypto. Some of it has been in stocks. Some of it has been even in Counter-Strike, man. As funny as that sounds, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate with that, because I've bought and sold skins over and over again just because I've either changed my mind on what I want to have. The reason why I invested in this crypto is because I was working 2 jobs and I didn't want to work 2 jobs for the rest of my life. I was working the second job and I told myself, man, let me use this money, invest into something, and hopefully catch a big break and make a good amount of money so then I can get involved into something else, whether it be real estate, whether it be another investment opportunity, whatever it may be. Let me just try this. And that's mistake number 1, man. This wasn't out of research. This wasn't out of knowledge. This was out of disparity. And if you're desperate to make some money, you're not going to make the right decisions. And this comes with the emotional side too, man. If you're feeling broke, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling behind, you're more likely to act irrationally, because you will see people showing off their freaking gains on whatever it may be, or showing off a new skin, a new car, and you're like, man, how does these people have all this money? And it's going to make you feel worse about yourself and your situation. And that feeling right there is going to make you want to take a risk. And it's not really a calculated risk. It's just a gamble. So you might as well just go to the nearest casino and just throw it on a color. You know what I mean? But I fell into this. And I really fell into it hard because I was working those 2 jobs. I was sitting in the Amazon delivery van watching videos on like how to make money, or like invest in this and you will 5x your money. And I fell for it, man. I invested in it a lot into it, man. I think in total I put $16,000 into 2 different cryptos. And at one point, man, I was up 13 grand. And like at the moment I saw that number, and like, of course it was like, whoa, it's freaking insane. But I was thinking like, man, nah, I'm trying to get 100K out of this, because that's what the video had told us that we were going to be able to receive from this. And I let that go. It started dropping, but I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm going to hold, and hopefully things turn out better. Months later, year later, pretty much 2 years later, I held that position. And I was at, I think, around 4 grand left, which is honestly better than 0. But it still stung, and it still really sucked. And having that 4,000 this year, actually in 2026 January, I decided to sell my position for a loss of $12,000. And it really took a little bit of pressure off my shoulders, but it really stung, man. It sucked seeing that big loss. But a couple lessons that I've learned from that loss. Number 1 is to not take advice from random YouTubers, or random YouTube videos, I should say, that promise a freaking insane return. Now, there will be times where you might get into something and you might hit a diamond, you know what I mean? You never really know, but more than likely you will be down just like I was. So that's number 1. Number 2 is to build up an emergency fund / a foundation in your investments. The emergency fund will allow you to have any expense that may come up covered. And this in return will allow you to take like $500 from your paycheck one month and be like, you know what? I got my emergency fund. If something comes up, I'll be able to cover it. Let me use this $500 and invest into something that may be a little bit more risky. Or let me take this $500 and invest it into a business that I can start up. You get what I'm saying? And I didn't have that at the time, man. So and luckily nothing did pop up, but if something would have popped up, all my money would have been tied up in that crypto asset. And I wouldn't even call it an asset, man. It was a liability to a sense, right? But it was all tied up in there. So luckily nothing came up for me, but if it would have, I would have had to sell. And I would have had to either take in a bigger loss at some points, or just really maybe miss the window of opportunity if it were to kind of explode, you know? And secondly, how I said the foundational investment account, where you have your retirement, you have your foundational stocks, where like me personally, not financial advice, which is like pretty much the S&P 500 or a all world ETF. And I personally like VT for that. Have those accounts building up in the background, consistently investing into those accounts every single month, and watching that compound growth happen before your eyes. And it does start off slow, but over time you will see the return, man. And I can say that from experience, because like right now, 3 years later, I'm definitely starting to see a bigger return from those things. Now, I did take a big freaking hit with that crypto thing, but the last thing I learned was patience. Patience, man. Not only patience, but being aware of your situation. Being patient alone will help you not want to just go all in on things. Building up that foundational account has returned me pretty much what I've lost in that crypto play that I try to do. And yeah, it took a little bit longer, and yeah, it sucks having to wait so much. But if I would have just gone back to back with risk and just lost everything, I would be at zero right now. But instead, I took the step back and took the quote unquote slower, more boring approach and invested into some diversified ETFs and stayed consistent with that. And also realizing that your situation may be different. You might not be in a position where you're able to gamble away $1,000 on a stock pick or a crypto play. You may not be in a position to go out of your comfort zone and start investing into things that you have no experience investing into. Because I've also dabbled in freaking option trading, you know what I mean? And in that alone, I lost like $2,000. So that even outside of the freaking crypto play. But I've also done in that, and I didn't do enough research for that, and I didn't understand what I was even getting into, and that's part of the problem right there. Of course, if you do your research and you're like, you know what, I can afford to lose $1,000, let me try to make something with this, then you know what, go right ahead, man. Like, we got to take these risks at times. So I'm not going to tell you not to take any risk, but my thing mainly is to have that nest egg up and have those foundations building up in the background, and then take that risk. And then if you do end up hitting something, man, take profit, because I could have taken profit, but I did not. Now, to kind of line up the mood and get real about some Counter-Strike skins, man, I used to play Team Fortress 2 and CSGO, but I would always switch back and forth between these two games. And when doing so, I would sell all my skins on one or all my items on the other and transfer that to the next one. But every time, as you sell things on Steam, they take a cut. So the value of the items that I had kept going down, man. And I lost money that way. I've also lost money in kind of quitting the game, because I've left the game for like a year or two and then come back and then left and come back. And I've sold some of the skins that every time I would leave, I would sell the skins that I had and like either cash out completely or buy some random nonsense or a game on Steam. And then when I do finally decide to come back, all those same skins that like maybe I want back are freaking more expensive now. And I lost money in that way, which sucks, but I don't know. It's just a little thing here at the end. Let me know in ways that you've lost money, either investing or in Counter-Strike, or in any other game, or whatever it may be. But I've been there. I've lost a lot of money, but I've also learned a lot. And I can tell you right now, consistently investing into the quote-unquote boring things like ETFs and retirement and things of that nature will return great, man. It really will. And when you have that emergency fund, and when you have the extra funds to kind of take a risk, go for it, man. We definitely have to take some risks. I'll see you guys on the next one.